Want to start a podcast? Spotify's got a platform that lets you make one super easily, then distribute it everywhere and even earn money, all in one place for free. It's called Spotify for Podcasters, and here's how it works. Spotify for Podcasters lets you record and edit podcasts right from your phone or computer, so no matter what your setup is like, you can start creating today. Then you can distribute your podcast to Spotify and everywhere else podcasts are heard. Shout out to Spotify for Podcasters. Check it out today.
Yo, what's good, everybody? This your boy Albert with the HipHopHumboldt podcast. You know, the freshest spot in the Northern California. And today, we got a motherfucking legend in the building. We got FreshMicks on. Come on, tell the people who you are, bro. Come on.
What's going on, everybody? What's going on? My name's FreshMicks, FreshMicks, on literally everything. I'm a singer-songwriter. I'm in Humboldt County looking to work. We're trying to get some stuff done here. I'm excited to be here with everybody from HipHopHumboldt. And yeah, thank you guys for having me.
Hell yeah, man. Thanks for pulling up for us, bro. Thanks for pulling up for us.
Anytime.
Well, shit, man. Let's get into it, bro.
Yes, sir.
That last show you did.
Whew, that was a fun one.
Bro, I didn't know you had dance moves like that, bro. What the fuck? Don't be playing with me, bro.
Dude, I wish I was Chris Brown with it or something like that. But no, I like to be, get put on the show.
Hell yeah. Nah, that shit was clean, bro. That shit was clean.
Thank you.
And the thing that made me really like it, bro, is, shouts out to Juice, because he's the one who showed me you.
100%
He showed me you, and, he's like, hey, recommend, he recommended it, and I was like,
Juice showed you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Double shout out Juice. Thank you, Juice. Appreciate it.
So that's what I'm saying. Yeah, as soon as I heard that shit, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna see if hopefully he will say yeah.
Of course.
Hell yeah, but dude, everybody in the whole place was like, when you're on, they're like, this dude is crazy.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate it. I had a super. You killed your set too. Everybody killed their set. Everybody was super fire, but I had such a good time. I appreciate you guys having me. It was nothing but good vibes and shit. Hopefully, first of many more.
Yeah, man. We got you lined up, bro.
This is exclusive news to me.
We got you lined up, bro.
Yeah,
we're ready to work, bro.
Thank you.
But shit, man, give me a little bit of background, bro. Where
yes, sir. So I've been doing, like most people, I'm sure, I've been doing music for a long time. I originally grew up in Monterey County, which is from Humboldt. It's probably like a good 7 hours from here. Born and raised there basically my whole life. Picked up music when I was around 7th grade. So I don't know, how old are you? Like 12 years old in 7th grade, something like that?
Yeah, bro. So you were just hitting it young.
But I was, like most people, again, I was really no good at it. I was
so like you have like these singing songs, bro.
Yeah.
Like real harmonizing, actually singing and shit. Were you making that shit at that age?
That's a good question. So when I first started making music, the first ever track that I did was, I don't know if anybody here knows this. There was a song by Wiz Khalifa called "This Plane," old ass song.
I know exactly what you
super old song. And I was using a program at the time called Mixcraft, and at the time they were having this promo where like, remix Wiz Khalifa song, submit it, and you get probably get a verse from him or some shit. I don't know what it was, but me just wanting to be in music at the time, I downloaded that. So my first ever song was a "This Plane" remix, but I wasn't rapping. I was like singing, and it was horrible. It was like, but it wasn't anything like super crazy, kind of like how it is now. Obviously, like I didn't know about harmonies. I didn't know about recording techniques, singing techniques, nothing like that.
Yeah.
I mean, again, like all of us, this is the 10,000 hours being put into work right here. It doesn't come overnight. But I think it's gotten to the point now where it's noticeably like it's kind of cleaned up in a sense, you know. At least I hope nobody's listening to it and being like, this guy needs some work. Which I think I do. You know, I still think I do need work, you know, but as we all do, we're all going to grow, we're all going to level up.
Hey, bro, that's the one thing. I still listen to my shit. I'm like, bro, my voice sounds horrible.
Yeah. I mean, I always tell someone, because, you know, family and stuff, they're always like to play like old shit of mine, like old deep cuts that are nowhere to be found on the internet. And I'm always over here like cringing, you know, and they're like, well, why don't you like listening to yourself? And I always explain that listening to an old song of yours, I think it's like, excuse me, I think it's like the equivalent of looking at a picture of yourself when you were like 14 years old.
Yeah.
Like you're probably like wearing some funky shit, your hair's probably long as fuck or something. I don't know, whatever it is, you know, like, so yeah, I try not to listen to that old shit. So yeah, we're always moving up. We're always progressing, you know.
So when you started, were you like, were you just doing straight vocals rapping, or were you like jumping into the production as well?
Good question. I was hoping you would ask me that shit. Good shit. No, when I started off, I think I always kind of wanted to be, I don't know if I wanted to be a singer, but I always wanted to have some type of like melodics to it, you know? But that quickly went out the window as soon as I started trying to sing, because I realized how bad I was at it. So I just stuck to rapping. So probably for like the first like 5 years or so, I was strictly a rapper. Like there was no singing coming out of my voice.
So that explains all the bars I be hearing.
You caught him. You caught him.
Hey, I'm a hip hop head, bro. So that's what I'm saying. I know bars when I hear them.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Not only the harmony shit, bro, you got some shit that's like real, like you got some, I checked out some of your videos throughout this whole week, and bro, you got some fucking bars, bro.
Thank you, bro. Thank you.
Like, damn, man, you know.
No, absolutely. I still try to rap here and there, you know. But for most of my own music, it's going to be more so singing and shit. If somebody wants me on a track, like one of my homeboys or something, it's like, hey, I think you could kill this, you know, with some bars or something, then 100% I'm there.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, thanks for noticing that, dog. I appreciate that.
Bro, I'm telling you, I be really listening to shit.
Yeah, so I mean, like I said, I started off, I was doing the rapping thing for like a good 5 years. I want to say one of my homeboys who's a super duper crazy Grammy award winning producer, shout out Dylan Graham, he's produced like that Hours and Hours and song, and he's a bunch of Chris Brown and Queen Naija. He was the one who was like, yo, I'm gonna be real with you. I sent him a song one time, I think it was over his beat, and he's like, I'm gonna be real with you, I think you should focus more on the singing. And I was like, oh, okay. And ever since then, I just kind of made that switch just like that.
Yeah.
You know, and I love it more. I think I sound better at singing than I do rapping. I rap now still, and I'm just kind of like, this doesn't sound like me.
Yeah,
but
it's always good to get that, like, you know, people pay for, you know, advice like that. You know,
no,
so
for
if somebody's like, hey, you should just do this.
Absolutely.
Hey, bro, I'm glad he told you, bro, because that singing shit's crazy, bro.
Thank you.
Like I'm telling you, bro, the whole from listening to it to seeing the stage performance, it's like all one thing. Is that something you like focus on? Is like you gotta make the whole thing as a, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, I'm super neurotic in that way. Like with anything that I'm doing, not even just performing, but like I'm super neurotic in the way that like I want to make sure that I'm doing my due diligence to put on a show in that sense, you know, whether it's the sound, whether it's what I'm doing on stage, my presence, whatever that is. Is it something I think about? I mean, we all rehearse for shows, and, you know, you have a general layout of what you're going to do, but like when I'm hitting the dance moves and shit, that's not rehearsed, you know? That's not rehearsed at all.
It's just tapping into the source, bro.
That's the Holy Spirit right there, me feeling it. But, no, I mean, yeah, I'm always self-conscious about that. I mean, when I was in high school, I was like in drama and shit, and theater and shit, and I was like acting in plays, so I know what it's like being in front of people. Like it's not like a nervous thing for me, it's more so just a thing of like, man, I hope I do good, you know, type of thing. So yeah, it's pretty calculated on my end, at least.
Damn. So you were doing the music, you just was trying to be a star as a kid, because you say you got the music, you were doing the drama and shit.
Well, I mean, you know, I was a little shithead in school. I don't think we all knew what we were gonna do, and growing up, my mom always wanted me to be an actor. She would always tell me that I was gonna go to Hollywood and buy her a crib and all this shit, and she's still telling me that to this day, but now it's for music, you know. I think just being like a creative and performing is just like in my life so much that it's almost second nature in a sense, you know.
Hell yeah.
I try not to think about it. Yeah,
sounds like it, bro. It sounds so natural, bro.
Thank you. Yeah.
Hell yeah. So like, I seen some of your music videos, bro, and bro, these are some clean ass music videos. Well, come on, bro. I don't do too many music videos, so tell me, talk about it a little bit.
Man, you're asking the great questions. So all the music videos that I've done, and this is my brother, by the way. Shout out Joshy Boy on Instagram.
Like your real brother?
No, not my real brother, but I mean, he's family. We're super close with him and his parents, and you know, back when we're from Salinas, California, down south. He's originally from there. He's done all my music videos, and I don't even have to tell him much. Honestly, I'll be like, hey, I found this dope spot. I want to shoot a music video. he'll be like, all right, cool, we'll pull up, we'll get shit done. And, a couple days later, he has a clean edit to me. All I got to do is show up and do my thing, So I wish I could say like, yeah, I do all the music videos myself and shit. But no, that's my homeboy, Joshy boy, Josh, If you're listening to this, thank you, brother. I appreciate you for everything you've done. You've changed my life. I hope I could do something for you. So shout out Joshy boy for that.
Shout out the homie, for real.
But he's fire with it. I mean, like I said, I'll just have a general idea. Like, hey, I want to be in front of a skyline, or I want to be at a barbershop dancing with the broom or some shit, and he'll just make it look clean.
Bro, I was just watching that video.
Oh, yeah, you seen it? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, bro, I'm telling you, I pay attention.
Thank you,
man. So, what are some like influences you had on growing up, like music wise?
So I think it's obligatory to say Drake for everybody these days. I feel like just because he's been around for so fucking long at the top, and it's like he's covered every genre, and he does it with some success. So I'll say Drake.
I mean, the thing about Drake, bro, he's like, I told you this, Juice. I was like, this guy's so much of an artist. Like, you can't hate on that shit.
Yeah,
like, he's just too much of an artist. Yeah,
there's too much there to go off of, to be like, I can't be like, I don't fuck with Drake, or that he doesn't inspire me, because he does. But I'll say Drake for sure. I'll say Post Malone. I think when his sound first came out, I was like, fuck yeah, I want to get that sound, like
that White Iverson.
I love that. Yeah, dude. When White Iverson first came out, I remember listening to it on the radio, and my girl being like, I don't know about this. I'm like, no, you're tripping. This White Iverson's fire. So Post Malone. I really love a lot of R&B women coming up. Not even coming up, but R&B goats. Kehlani is a big one for me. Summer Walker, Janae, that whole kind of vibe I love that bag. Every time I make a song and I show it to my girl, she's always like, all I hear is Kehlani on it. And I'm like, yeah, let me just call Kehlani real quick,
hey, that's not a bad thing, bro.
No, absolutely.
If you could do the male shit with like the that's like a whole different.
Absolutely. And then I have to say too, even if it sounds corny, Justin Bieber's like been a big one to me.
What you talking about corny, bro?
I don't know. Some people hate on the boy, I
feel like once he got into like teen years, that's when I started fucking with him.
Yeah.
What do you mean? that's when I got into Biebs, but I ain't stepping on you for that
for
one,
sure.
Bro.
I get a lot of, I don't want to say I get a lot of, compared to him a lot, but I think if I had to choose someone that like I kind of almost sound like, if I had to choose, would be him, in a sense, with the vocals and stuff like that. But yeah, those are, I love R&B and hip hop and pop as a whole. So many influences from everywhere.
So you be dipping into like the 90s R&B type shit?
Oh yeah, for sure. I have memories. I don't even know when these albums came out, but I have memories of like my mom taking me to, there was a store in Salinas, California. I think it was called like Music Warehouse, something like that. And I would get like old Sade CDs or just shit like that, like all the time. And she was big into J-Lo, so I had J-Lo stacks too. You know. Yeah. So yeah, my music spectrum is literally all over the place when it comes to it.
Bro. And that's why I feel like I gravitate towards your music, because I love that R&B shit so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I'm an R&B head, bro. So like all that shit. So whenever I heard it, just like click.
Thank you. And I think it's the thing with R&B too is there's not a lot of people that are like gonna say like, oh, I listen to strictly R&B, because when you're at a party, throwing on some R&B may not be like the cool thing to do, because it's slow. It might be slow, or it might not be a fun vibe. But I think everybody likes R&B at least a little bit, right? Hey,
I swear, bro, I say this shit all the time. Like, if you don't listen to R&B, you don't got a soul. Like, you sold that shit to the devil or something.
Yeah, no kidding. So
I love that R&B
for sure.
Shit,
that's where I'm at for sure.
Hell yeah. Well, shit. As far as like writing music, like what's your favorite like environment to be in? Like, how do you what's your writing process?
What's my writing process? So I wish it was a lot more complicated than it is now. I've been in a lot of I've been through a lot of writing processes. I've been in rooms with people, a lot of people where everybody's pitching ideas, or everybody's chiming in, or you could do it by yourself. But what I usually do for my music these days, and it's, again, I wish it was more complicated, I'll usually get really, really, really high.
You smoke it backwards or what?
I roll the Dutch Palmas, the fat one.
I keep a bag, I keep them tucked.
Yes sir. Yeah, the Dutch Palmas is where I keep it if I'm going to smoke a blunt. But I'll usually start off getting really, really high. And what I like to do when I'm writing is, if like I listen to a beat and say the name of the beat is, I don't know, Far Away, I'll take that Far Away name and build the song around that. It may not end like that. It might get changed, but I think that's where I'll build the song around. And then, just like everybody else goes, we'll go in there and I'm just mumble some shit.
Yeah, you gotta get your references out.
Listen to it back, and then, okay, this sounds like I said this here. Maybe I can make it say this. Maybe I can make this say that. And next thing you know, you have a song. sometimes, very, very rarely, will I have the song fully written before I record it.
Yeah.
Because, so, I don't know if we've spoken about it before. I'm also a mix engineer myself, kind of like Juice. Shout out Juice again. So when I'm mixing myself, I think I have that luxury of being able to like fuck around and be like, oh, this sounds kind of cool. Maybe I could do that. Whereas some artists who don't necessarily have access to that, they might not know that they could do that because no one's ever done that for them, you know?
Yeah.
So I think having the benefit of being able to engineer myself, it allows my creativity to kind of go off the wall in that sense instead of having to...
Yeah, because at that point, you just got the blank canvas and it's all you.
Yeah, and I could paint it however I want.
Yeah.
But don't get me wrong, I was just telling the guys, the City Hippie guys earlier, that I envy their ability to collaborate with one another at the same time, like, and just throw ideas back and forth, because I think that is how you get the greatest music. The best music is made with collaboration. I mean, there's no doubt about it. Yeah,
because this whole music is human to human interaction.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean? So when you're in the booth with somebody, you know, that's why I working with people like Juice, because it's like, I could bounce ideas off him.
Yeah.
You can bounce, that's that human interaction right there. You know, is like, I see you working with a lot of people too, mixing other people too.
Yes, sir.
Do you work that way as well?
Yeah, absolutely. So Juice is a lot more hands-on, I feel like, whereas he'll like record somebody as well as engineer them, which I wish I could do, but I don't really have the time for that. But I do a lot of like remote work, where I started off on like Fiverr. I don't know if you know Fiverr. It's
bro,
like
I'm oblivious to I just rap, bro. I come to Juice and I talk, bro.
That's fine. That's fine. So it's just a website where you can like buy basically freelance service of anything, like anything you need. So I originally started like putting my shit up on there, and I just built up a clientele on there that's transferred over to like Instagram and everywhere else, email and all that stuff. So yeah, I do a lot of like remote work and stuff like that. I've met a lot of really dope artists and just people in the business just doing that, which like I'm sure Juice has too. Just running in circles with the same circles and shit like that. But yeah, I dabble in that a lot.
How do you like balance that? Like, how do you balance the between, doing other people's work and like, finding joy in that, and then like, doing your own shit, you know what I'm saying?
Ooh, I needed this question because I feel like nobody ever thinks about that kind of thing. Yeah, it can be kind of tough, especially when you're doing work that's paid and you have deadlines to meet and things like that. Like, for example, I've had times where I'll have an idea for a song that I'm like, I can't wait to lay down. I just can't wait till I'm in the studio recording it. And then I'll sit down and get ready to record it. And I'm like, oh, wait, I got to do this. I got to deliver this order for this guy. I got to work on this guy's project for him before I could even get to my shit.
Yeah.
So it is a really tough balancing act, having to set time aside for myself for my own musical endeavors. So much so, it's so difficult to the point where I've had to I have a board where I've had to write, okay, Monday is this. Tuesday I'm doing content. Thursday I'm recording. I'm just recording. Friday I'm just writing. Whatever it is, because I feel like if I don't block out my schedule like that, I'll just get stuck in the loop of me working on other people's music, and I'll never find the time for myself.
Yeah, bro. That's organization is key. And I never really fucked with that till everybody out here, seeing whiteboards and all that. That's when I started writing my shit down. I'm like, oh, okay, you guys are really working out here.
Yeah, it can get pretty hectic, dude. Cause that's what I'm doing. Like I could post a story on every day on Instagram, me sitting in front, like I'm sure Juice can, me sitting in front of a computer working on somebody's music. Like every day, I could do that, so it's a lot of work. It is a lot of work doing that, but I try to find the balance with that.
But it's gotta like feel good though when you like look back on it, because you're like, well, there's my lane, and then here's all these other lanes I done crossed into.
It's such a rewarding. I was actually talking to one of my homeboys about this. He's trying to become an engineer, and I was like, being an engineer, it's one of the more rewarding things that you can do, because I think one of my favorite things is I get a lot of artists who are like, yo, I never thought I could hear my voice sound like this or my song sound like this. Like listening to your mix, and I'm sure Juice knows what I'm talking about. Listening to your mix, it sounds like I'm listening to my song for the first time, And I love being able to do that for people.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about it too the other day. It's kind of sad that I can't do that for myself because I mix live, Like I won't be able to hear, quote unquote, my song for the first time like that. But being able to do it for other people, it's fire. It feels fucking fire.
Yeah, it's gotta be, man. Because I get, every time this guy send me something, I'm like,
I'm sure, right? And you can't wait to
this boy got me sounding like a star. I was telling that all the time.
I love doing that for people, dude. It's such it's a rewarding feeling, It makes shit worth it. Granted, I hate talking shit about anybody, and I'm not going to, but granted, not everybody is as talented as everybody else when you're working, So sometimes it can be a little like of a drag. I guess you would say. But for the most part, like I said, even then, if it's not your cup of tea, the feedback that you get is still like super worth it.
But still at that time, you're really challenging yourself. So once you get it done, you're probably like, okay.
Like this, it's probably some shit I wouldn't have done otherwise, like here I am.
Hey, but you got something else in your arsenal once you get past it,
So it's never a waste. It's just always different. That's all it is. Yeah.
Well, shit, as far as like shows go, have you been performing?
I've done a couple shows in the past. I opened up for Trippie Redd in Texas back in, I think it was last March. And then, a few local shows here and there prior to that. But this past show that we had on Tuesday, what was it? The 16th, May 16th was my first one in Humboldt County.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And it feels good. Damn. I mean, I've done shows smaller than that or bigger than that one where the energy wasn't as big. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
the vibes up here is beautiful. I love it.
Yeah. And that's what I do with these. I just try to curate a good lineup, like a good build up to a build down, you know. Sure. So that little pocket you had, bro, that was crazy.
I loved it. It's so much fun. I love performing. I love interacting with people and just putting out dope music.
Hell yeah. What was it? What was going through your mind the first time you jumped on stage, though?
Oh man, the first time I jumped on stage was way back in the day. I was probably like 19 or 20, and it wasn't a very big show. It was probably, I don't know, 50 people or so, kind of similar to the one we did.
Yeah.
And I just remember being like, and again, I was rapping. I wasn't singing. I just remember being like, okay, I'm going to go up there and do my thing. I go up there, do my thing, and I could come off it feeling like I could have done that better.
Yeah.
I just, maybe I don't remember much of it, but maybe I didn't have the energy I needed, or I just wasn't ready.
Yeah.
To put it bluntly.
What show was it, like when you felt like you had something going on?
When I felt like I had something going on, damn, that's a good ass question. I don't know if it was necessarily a show that I felt like, oh man, I figured it out. Again, I think just over time and just soaking in so much information from my favorite artists and other people just online and YouTube, you just kind of soak it in, and I can't say that there was a point where I was like, I got it down. I don't know. But I would say like after my second show, for sure, I was like, all right, I'm more comfortable. My stage presence is a lot better now. I would say it took me a good 2 shows or so.
Yeah, it takes a minute, bro, because I always tell people doing shows is like jumping off of a cliff into like a river or something. It's gonna be scary because you're looking down.
It can
but
be,
once you get it done, you're like, all right, I want to do that shit again.
Yeah.
I want to do it again.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it, because you're right. The first show is always like the first ever show is always like, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna, but afterwards you're just like, man, that wasn't bad. I could do this forever and ever. You're 100% correct on that.
Yeah, so it's same thing with I used to do boxing and shit. You get nervous and you get in there boxing. You you're afraid to get hit. You get hit, but then you're like, what the fuck? Let me do that again.
Like adrenaline's going. You feel it. Yeah, no, I feel that. That's exactly how it's like. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, shit, man. You got any of your your favorite songs that you made
of my own?
Yeah, of your own.
Oh, man.
You be listening to yourself like that? Because I do. I
do. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Of course, who doesn't? You want to hear it?
That's what we in this shit for, bro.
Absolutely. Yeah. God, do I have a favorite song of mine that I've made? I don't know if I have a favorite, but I think one of the more important ones to me is this song called Miles, which is the song that I opened up with. And that's it's like a slower R&B song that's about basically like a link, like a sneaky link, driving so many miles to meet up with a shorty and do your thing. And
it's out here, he's on some P shit,
bro. But I think that song means the most to me, because that song is about how I met my current fiance. I drove to her house, I snuck in her window, I had to hide under her bed, or her dad almost hurt us. I have a line in there where I'm like, if your daddy hurt us, we'd probably fight, type of shit. Yeah. But luckily, we're all super close, and they love that song. They love that line. They sing it to all the time. But I think that song would be the most important, or most I'd say that's the most important song for me as well, because it was my first official single on Spotify. It was the first track that I dropped. And that song was on a project called Disaster, which opened up a lot of doors for myself.
Yeah, but I was checking that shit out.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I have Disaster 1 and Disaster 2, both 7-track R&B EPs that are out now. You can go stream it everywhere. And those 2 projects, Disaster 1 and 2, have done so much for my career.
Yeah.
So
in what way though?
I mean, it's people have heard it that I thought would never have heard it, and I've got to link and meet with people that I've never thought I'd be talking to.
Damn.
I mean, I've been in rooms with where I felt like I do not belong in here, you know. And it's just through a word of mouth thing, you know. One of your homeboys likes it, he's connected to this homeboy, he shows it, kind of like Juice is doing. He shows it to so and so, and you know, it gets back, and the next thing you know, you're talking to people that you look up to. You know? So I think in that sense, it's definitely, like I said, opened up a lot of doors for me, and that's one of those things that where it helped me find my sound. I think too, because once I got the reception from it, and everybody was like, "Oh, yo, this is dope. You should sing more," type of thing. I was like, okay, I think I gotta stick with this and kind of work on that.
Hell yeah, bro. And like when I listen to your music, bro, there's a lot of like, you touch on a lot of like real subjects, you know. So how important is it to you to keep that like that real subject and show that vulnerability in your music?
You are so good at this, because it's funny, because before coming here, I was thinking like, I wonder what he's gonna ask me, like probably some like, you know, I hope he asked me about this. And one of the things that I was thinking that I hope you asked me about was basically that, like how being real and kind of thing like that. Or because one of the biggest things I have when I give advice to people that are like, "Oh, yo, I'm starting out, do you have advice?" It's for me, it's always just like, be you, be authentic. Because at least for me, if I'm listening to gangster rap, right, which I will from time to time, if I'm listening to gangster rap, I want my rapper to live that life, and I want to relate to them in that sense, you know. So I feel like being you and being authentic in your music and being vulnerable, especially, goes a long way. Everybody, you know, we all have our party tracks where we don't give a fuck, we're just turning up or whatever. But I think too, having a good balance of like some deep shit can catch a listener's ear and be like, hold up, he's talking some real shit. Let me listen. Like even at shows, like from artists I've never heard of, like, you know, when they're saying something that's relatable, you just kind of stop and you're like, oh, let me see what he's got. You know? So I think being real and being authentic is one of the most important things you could do as an artist. One of the most important and one of the most impactful things you could do as an artist.
And like I said, bro, I listen to a lot of people, but to have you in the rotation, you feel me? You gotta be saying, for me at least, you gotta be saying some stuff.
Absolutely,
you know? And
absolutely.
You know, that goes back to that human to human interaction.
Exactly.
You know, if you got some real shit to talk about, like that's, you know, I didn't know about that. You know, the track where you talk about sneaking over and I mean, you know, that's hella dope, bro. Like that's hella dope.
I try to, you know, and of course, sorry, I'm speechless because I'm trying to explain. So I'm a songwriter as well. Like I'll write for other people and things like that.
Wait, hold on. We ain't just gonna gloss over that like it ain't nothing, bro. So you telling me you out here performing, you out here mixing, and you're writing songs for other people,
and I'm producing, but I'm not.
Oh wait, you producing too?
Easy. I mean, like I said, I've been doing this a long time. You know,
you produce your own, like your
a lot of my own stuff. I will produce. I would say probably like, I don't know, like 75% of the stuff that I put out is produced by me.
We're gonna touch on that, bro. When did you start getting into the production?
When in high school, so around 14, 15. This is like
so around the same time you started rapping, like So when you started, you're just doing it all as a whole.
Well, I didn't want to start off as that. I had my mind set on being a rapper, but it was hard to find beats that were my style that I felt like I could flow over. So naturally, you're just like, okay, I'm gonna pick, you know, whatever program this is up, and I'm gonna try to produce, and you know, it just goes that way. So I picked up this program that back in the day everybody used to talk shit about it, but I think it's come such a long way. FL Studio. I don't know if you've heard of it.
Oh yeah, bro, I know about it.
Yeah, okay. I mean, back in the day, I think everybody was using it because it was like the easiest to crack. You know, you didn't have to pay for it. But I think it's just come a long way. Like I've seen industry professionals, you know, preferring that over something like Pro Tools, which I've never gone into Pro Tools and shit like that, but everybody who does, salute to you, because I wish I could learn that shit super easily. But I stuck with FL Studio because it was easy to make beats on. Like it was like the easiest thing for beginners to make beats on, and I've stuck with it ever since then. So my producing stems from that, and I think it kind of is an equal line, my skill of artistry and producing. I think they both kind of climb at the same rate, and I think that kind of shows, you know. Like I try to make sure my shit sounds radio ready to me.
Yeah, no, bro, it sounds natural as fuck.
Yeah,
you know, down to the, like I said, down to the beat, the mix, and it's just a natural feel.
Yeah, Juice is over here shaking his head or nodding his head like, yeah. Thank you. Yeah,
super natural feel. Like it don't feel like it's forced. It don't feel nothing. It's super.
Thank you.
It's smooth, bro. That's the shit you be playing for the shawties. You feel me? You know, that's like
Drake said. I hate to reference Drake again, but Drake one time said that he's like, I just think making songs for women and about women is like one of the waviest things that you could do.
bro.
And I love that line. Like I agree.
It is, bro. It is. Like it's just me. I'll be on a little bit of street. That's just where I come from. I've been on street shit, but now I'm starting to like dip more into the like
bangs.
I'm trying
my girl actually said, she's like, because he for those who are listening and don't know, Al had performed at the same show that we did on Tuesday, and she said, besides you, I think you were her favorite performer. And she's like, I was not expecting that. She was loving it.
Hey, if your girl says that, bro,
yeah, she loved it.
That's a compliment to me.
Yeah, well,
she's got the goat right there.
Yeah, I mean, she grew up on that like almost like Bay Area sound too, because you have a lot of like that pocket that is, I think on that OG, like that pocket.
Yeah, I come from the Central, so I just be people from LA, people from down south be mixing all kinds of shit. They be living there, so I'm just whatever I get is
100%.
Yeah, but we going back to you though, bro. No, we going back to you.
Thank you. But back to my point about being a songwriter though. One of the hardest things about songwriting, and because we were talking about relating with people when they hear your music, one of the most complicated things when it comes to writing is writing something so short but so relatable in so few words. Yeah. And I think that's why people like J. Cole, for example, are known for their storytelling, because they could tell a story in a few sentences. Same with singing, excuse me, got a burp, sorry. Same with singing, but instead of rapping, you're just kind of putting a melody over it, right? And so I think that is what, if I could talk my shit for a second.
Hey, let the motherfuckers know, bro.
I think my writing is what separates me more than anything compared to other, like, I guess, I don't want to say local artists, because it's hard to find someone who has the same sound as myself, I guess, around here. Which, again, I'm not trying to brag. I'm just saying, like,
no, bro. You ain't. If you ain't feeling, you gotta feel yourself before everybody feel you, bro.
I hate sounding cocky. I just think sounding cocky.
Bro, you the motherfucking man. We here to let you know that you on this podcast for a reason.
All right, well, I'm the motherfucking man, and I think that's what separates No, I think that's what separates like a good artist from a great artist, is their writing, their songwriting. If you can write something so simple, something so catchy, something that you don't need to think a lot about, you don't need to do a whole lot after that,
Yeah, that's when it's like it's in you. You know what I mean?
It's in you, not on you.
Yeah. Shit. So as far as like writing, you say you write for other people.
Yeah.
So is it like, does it get like a little bit difficult when you have to kind of like write from somebody else's perspective?
No, actually, it's a lot easier. I think for me, it's a lot easier and I think most songwriters would agree that writing from somebody else's perspective is a lot easier in the sense that it's a lot less pressure. So, for example, if I'm writing something for myself and I write a line and I'm like, I might not, maybe I won't say that, or maybe I'll say it a different way, or I don't think I should say that. Writing from somebody else, like if I've written from female perspectives, right? And it's a lot easier to be like, for example, I wrote a rap for this female artist in LA one time, and it was like she was talking about fucking and pussy and all that shit, which I didn't write the whole thing. I had a hand in it, but being able to like separate yourself from your artistry and write for others, I think is easier, because imagine if someone came up, okay, let's turn the table. Name one of your favorite artists, any of them.
I mean, I just got to go with Kendrick.
Okay, Kendrick. Do you feel, Kendrick's a hard one, but do you feel like you could at least like find a good like cadence, something that, Kendrick would say some shit like this, or Kendrick like, I can hear Kendrick doing this.
We should put it that way, if I fuck around with like some of the shit he's got with like Keem, then I can like go in there and be like, okay.
Yeah, you're a lot more freeing in that sense, that like I don't have to worry about how I come off saying these things. Sorry. Woo! Sorry. Shout out to Al for the drink. But it's a lot. I think it's a lot more freeing and liberating and easier, less pressure on yourself writing for other people. Unless there's a big unless. Unless they are in the room with you, which I've done this, where they're in the room with you and their facial expressions are stoic. Like you don't know if they're feeling what you're writing, if they love it or hate it. That's always nerve-wracking for sure. But I think just in general, writing for other people, I feel like is a lot I don't want to say simpler, but I think it comes out easier for sure.
And like when you're writing for other people, do you like ask them for like, do you like ask them like, what do you want me to talk about, or do you ask for some of like their personal experiences?
Yeah, well, again, the best music is made when you're collaborating, right? So let's say we're writing about, I don't know, relationship stuff, you're going through some things, right? Obviously, you as a writer, it's your job to pull certain stories or certain moments from that person's life and make it into a song. So it's kind of like being a therapist in a sense, where it's like, okay, well, how did this make you feel? And they're like, well, I felt like I just wanted to step through a doorway and be gone. Okay, well, let's put that. I wish I could step through, whatever it is. I think it's just putting their experiences into to short form. Like I said, that's the hard part. But once you get that down and once you guys are flowing, I think it's super easy, because then they're throwing ideas, you're throwing ideas. If a producer's there, they might say something, it's a lot funner for sure. It's way more funner. It's way more, I think it just comes out better when there's more heads in the room.
Shit, that's how I know you're a real artist, bro. That's how I know you're a real artist. You really be thinking about the whole picture.
I try, dude. I mean, anybody can make a song. Anybody can make a song. Less people can make a good song. Less people can make a great song. And I'm just trying to strive to that point where I'm always making a great song. I don't want nothing slacking in my category, in my discography. At the end of the day, I hope people can listen to everything that I'm putting out and being like, okay, he's saying something and he's saying it well.
Yeah.
That's my big thing.
Yeah, bro, and it comes across that way, bro.
Thank you, bro.
That's what I'm saying. You get what you put into this music, and we see you putting all this shit because you can hear it coming back.
Thank you, bro. Thank you.
Hell yeah, bro.
You guys show so much love to me. I mean, I appreciate it. Honestly,
bro, hey,
really.
It's you, bro. You the one, bro.
Thank you. Thank you.
So you say you're from
originally Monterey County. I gotta shout them out because I know I have people there listening. King City, California, the super small town, 831. Everybody there knows what's up. Everybody knows that I'm from there. That's, if you ask me where you from, King City. That's
show with the natives, bro. Let them know. Let them know the set. Let them know the set.
So I'm from King City. Yeah.
So what brought you out there at Humboldt, bro?
So I have family out here. I've always been up and down here. We've lived a lot of other places as well. And I think when we first moved up here, probably like 3 years ago, I think financially it just made more sense for us where we were in our life and what we were doing. A lot of things have changed since. We're blessed. We're doing good, and we just love it out here. To put it bluntly. Sorry, I keep burping. I don't want to say I hate, but I can't stand doing the city life. I don't like driving 2 hours to go 5 miles.
Yeah.
And being up here is such a calmer vibe. I don't have to deal with so much traffic. Everybody up here is super chill. Everybody up here smokes, which is a big one, So what brought me out here was first and foremost family, but I think we just love it out here to the point where, and LA ain't nothing but a flight away. Yeah. All these other places are nothing but a flight away. So I think just having California in your back pocket like that, I mean, I love it up here.
Yeah, I tell everybody, like, this is a great place. Like, if you're an artist, this is a great place to create.
Yeah.
Do you feel 100%. The same way?
100%. That's exactly how I feel. I think I've never been more creative than being up here, for sure.
And so what would be, like, as far as, like, the people who are listening, like, what's the big difference from Monterey to out here?
So the big difference is in Monterey County, I feel like you would be bigger than me in Monterey County, because your sound, I feel like, is what they love down there. Like, you get a lot of rappers that have that sound. They don't do it as good as you. I'll be straight up. They don't do it. But there's,
hey, bro, don't you ain't got to riz me up in this motherfucker.
No, I'm just being for real. Like, I know a lot of local rappers down there and homeboys that have been doing their thing too. And don't get me wrong, they're fire too. But I think the difference is that leaving down south broadens the audience more to find more people who genuinely love R&B and that kind of sound. Don't get me wrong, there's people where I'm from that they love the sound that I'm doing now, and they show love all the time. But I just think that the sound down there is more curated towards a more rap and more Bay Area sounding type feel. That's just a difference. But up here, I mean, even then, it's hard to pinpoint what even the trending sound up here is. Like, you could correct me if I'm wrong, but I haven't found the sound that's like, oh, this is the Humboldt sound. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Which I think is a good thing, because you get more diverse sounds out of that, Yeah. I mean, we walked into a session today with Juice and City Hippie, and there was some stuff I've never heard, like, not in a bad way. Like, it was just something that I wouldn't expect, So that the difference is, I don't know what to expect up here and everywhere else,
Yeah, bro. And like, what do you think about the whole the creative flow out here?
It's fire.
There's so many like artists. What do you think about this whole scene out here?
So that's another big difference about the scene up here and elsewhere, I think, is that people, from my experience, are a lot more willing to work over here than I've dealt with in the past. I think, for example, we could talk about LA. If you're gonna work in LA, you have to be credentialed. There's you can throw a rock and hit an artist in LA. I mean, that's just what it is. You know, that's where they're all at. Up here, I think it's a lot more liberal in the sense that like, oh, you're an artist too, and you're dope. Let's work. Instead of being like, oh, you're dope, but you're not quite where I'm at yet. Hit me later, type of thing. I don't feel that here, and I've never been the one to do that either. Like, I have no problem working with somebody, followers and shit like that. That shit means absolutely nothing to me. If you're dope and you're making dope shit, let's work. Yeah. I don't give a fuck if you have 50 million followers or 50 followers. Yeah. I don't care. I don't care. If you make good music, let's make good music together. Yeah. That's how I am.
Yeah, and that's originally what it's about, you know? So like this whole like social media things kind of like, we were just talking about TikTok before you turn the mics on, we can get back to it. But it's like that whole like, see me, I caught like the tail end of the shit of like, you had to pull up to the ciphers, you had to be out live, you had to be out there for people to know you know what I'm saying?
We live in a totally different age, dog. Social media is such a I always have this, I feel like I always have this conversation how crazy social media changed not only just the music industry but just a lot of industries, and made it a lot more so you don't necessarily have to be in the right room as much as you had to before. Whereas it's more so about being discovered on the platform and things like that, which is a blessing and a curse, because as an artist, I want to always focus on my music over everything. But I know that I need to create content. I need to be on TikTok. I need to do this. I need to do that. And that's where I think music starts feeling more like a job to me anyway, is where I have to like sit down and be like, I got to do content. I got to record this stupid funny meme video for my song, so that way people will like it and hear, you know, that I hate doing that, but I know how necessary it is in this day and age. And one of my old managers at the time told me, was like, if you're not doing content, you're just falling behind. And ever since then, I'm always like, but I'm so bad at it still to this day. Like, I'll have a song ready, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna do all this content, and then it drops, and I just get so demotivated to do content. I never do it. I'm so bad with it, but I know how important it is. But social media has changed the game in that sense.
Yeah, but it gets hard, bro, because a lot of your energy goes into the actual song. I'm saying. You know, the actual music.
That's what I'm saying. I always say that I need somebody to tell me what content to make, and then just have me do it. Because I think the hardest part for me is like sitting down and coming up with content. Yeah, I can come up with songs all day. You put me in front of a mic and I'll give you something. Yeah. But if you put me down and say, okay, I need 5 song ideas for my new song that's about going to the club and doing drugs and all this shit, I'm gonna be honest with you, Chief. I ain't got nothing. Just play the song and lip sync it to your phone or something. You know, like I'm so bad when it comes to that stuff. So I'm so behind on it, but I know I got to. It's a game changer. Bro,
that's what other people are for. That's what you gotta hire other people for.
I know. I'm hoping we get there, dog. I need that.
Nah, but that's the thing that makes your shit so good, though. But you know, you're not really out. You know, you're not like doing the content, and that doesn't really matter if your music's that good.
I hope, right? You know I hope like the music can kind of speak for itself. Like, people are gonna hear good music and gravitate towards it regardless.
And I mean, you ain't lacking in that fucking field. For
I hope
sure.
Not. Shit, thank you.
So like, you've been working with a lot of people, right?
Yeah.
And what's that feeling like whenever you feel like, when you hear people like state to state, you know, you're working with other people, what's that gotta feel like?
It can be intimidating for sure if you're working with somebody who's a lot, I don't want to say names, but somebody who's a lot more established than you. It can be kind of nerve-wracking. I hate being in like meetings with just managers and music industry people in general, because it takes so much just to get so little sometimes in that sense. So intimidating, I think, is a good word. You have to come prepared. You have to come correct when you're dealing with like people in the industry and things like that. And if you're not correct, then you could have just blown an opportunity, which I've done in the past. You know, I was talking to Wes earlier about the song that hopefully he blesses me with, and I was telling him that I had wrote that for some other people they're pretty established, and it just kind of slips through the cracks because, and I'll say it's my fault. I wasn't prepared. I didn't have the right information at the time, and I wasn't ready. That kind of sense. So if you're dealing with people like coast to coast and things like that, and that are bigger than you, my thing, and they have management, and you know they're on a label and they're doing big things like that, you always got to come ready with whatever it is, whether it's numbers, ideas. You got to come ready. Yeah. But I mean, just being able to work with people in general like that is such a surreal thing. Like I said earlier, like I've been in in rooms with people that I never thought I'd be in rooms with, that alone is like makes doing music worth it, because you're like, holy shit, this is paying off.
Yeah.
What I'm doing is being seen by the right people.
Yeah.
So, yeah, intimidating for sure, but also it's another one of those things that can be like, not that I've never sat there and been like, oh, I made it, because I haven't. I don't think, but it's one of those things that you're like, I'm doing the damn thing.
Yeah, you definitely gotta use that's a stepping stone.
Yeah,
you definitely got over
100%,
one hurdle.
100%. It's fun. It's nerve wracking. It's fun, but it's definitely something that I think that collaborating, with everybody like that is something that a lot of artists, I think, take for granted.
Yeah.
Shit,
man, I don't know, bro. You opening some gems right now, bro.
Thanks,
so if anybody listening, you gotta, this guy's dropping some gems on you real quick.
I'm trying to, dog. Like I said, I've been doing this shit a long time.
So what can we expect from you next, bro? What you got coming up next?
Yes. So my most recent release is a track that I did with my brother called Fiction. Well, his name is Fiction. The track's called 4:30.
I was just listening to that before I came in. I'm telling you.
He's another dope writer as well. He's written for a lot of he's really cool with like Jay Sean.
Okay.
Down. Jay Sean. He's cool with like Eric Bellinger, things like that. He's a super dope writer. That's my most recent release. I plan to, on the horizon, it's been such a minute since I've dropped a project because I feel like singles these days is what keeps the momentum going, where projects are more for like the fans. So it's been a minute since I've done a project, but I don't want to announce a project here because I maybe I have one.
So we are getting something.
We're getting a lot more. Yeah, we're getting a lot more with some really dope people.
That's all we need to know, bro.
Yeah,
because after that, after seeing the reactions of that show, people were just like, "Who is this guy? We need to see him more."
Thank you. I mean, I'll say this: I have music coming out with Grammy nominee writers, singers, producers.
Hell yeah. So speak on it, King, bro. Speak on it, bro. Come on.
I wish I could speak on it more, but again, this is one of those things where I don't want to fuck it up before it happens, because that's, that can happen. That can happen. But I definitely have a lot more shit that I'm super excited that it's going to be dropping. A lot more vibes, and especially if I want to try to do more shows out here. I want to get some more shit geared for the shows, and that keep that energy up. That's what I want to do. So. I don't want to announce it yet, but we're gonna get something. We got some shit. Yeah, I wish I could.
As far as like, you got a whole image, bro. Like you got the you got the whole pack, bro. You got the whole package with it. Like, are we gonna be getting some merch soon? Are we gonna get all that shit too?
That's a good question. That's a good question. So I get this question a lot because in the past I've teased merch and then it just never happened. Again, that's one of those things where
I'm just saying, bro. You got the style, bro. So I know you want to drip everybody out.
Yeah. It's definitely something that I want to do, but if I'm going to do it, I want to do it right, and I want to make it affordable.
Yeah.
That's my big thing, because I know what it's like loving the hell out of an artist, and then the merch drop, and you're like, I don't love you that much.
Don't partner with Cactus Planet Flea Market.
No, never. But yeah, it's definitely something I want to do, but like I said, if I'm going to do it, I want to do it right, I want to do it good quality, and I want to make it accessible for most people.
Yeah,
but that's a good question.
That's like it's like people want something tangible as well. You get this Sonic shit, but they want something to like touch.
I have designs already, actually. Now that I think, I have designs on my computer already for merch and stuff like that. It's just I gotta get the ball rolling.
You just got the whole arsenal, bro. That's
one of those
ready
things.
To press the button on them.
Yes,
bro.
I know. Well, again, that's one of those things where I feel like I need a manager sometimes, because I have so many things that I want to accomplish and ideas that I want to lay down, but I feel like if it's not about music, then creating the music, I'll lack on it. Yeah. I may not get to it.
Yeah.
But I know I need to prioritize it, and I will. I know for everybody listening, I will prioritize. You will get some merch in the near future. We're gonna make some solid fly shit that you guys can wear and feel proud of. Not something that you guys can only put on once and be like, this shit's faded, or it doesn't fit the same way. Like, we want to do it right, and we're going to. We will.
Well, you better save me a large, bro, because I'll be copying one of those.
I'll write you down. No worries.
Hell yeah, man. So, like, as far as like you've been doing your music and shit. Do you like collaborate? Do you have any like people, your favorite people you've collaborated with so far?
Yeah, well, I guess I can. Okay, well, let's get a Hip Hop Humble exclusive then. I guess one of my favorite artists that he's been doing it for a minute. He's Grammy nominated. He wrote for Chris Brown's newest album. He's all over the place. I'm sure I could pull up his credits and you'd be like, oh, I know that song. I know that song. I know that song. His name is John Conception. He's a singer. He's from Toronto, Canada. Super dope. He's been doing it a long time too. And I remember growing up. Well, I'm still growing up, but I remember like being in high school and being like, oh, this dude's dope. I could say that my next single is gonna be with him on it. I'm not gonna announce the name on it, but it's a fire single. It's super fire. I'm so excited to show it. He's doing crazy things too. I mean, he's fresh off an album and I think a tour too. So
hell yeah,
I just love it. I love collaborating with people that inspire me more than anything.
So for me, whenever I got like the first feature of somebody I used to listen to as a kid, and hearing your voice kind of like next to theirs, like it felt like for me it felt great. What did it feel like for you to like hear your voice next to somebody that you looked up to?
All right, well, funny story about that. Okay, so I had sent him this. The way this happened is my brother Vision. He's a producer. Shout out Vision if you're listening to this. Vision, what's up, brother? He had sent me a song or a track that I recorded to, and I had just left the open verse on it because I do that from time to time where I'm just like, I'm not feeling the second verse right now. Maybe I'll leave it open. Maybe I'll send it to somebody. I had sent it to my dude John Conception who blessed me on the song, and I remember the night that he sent me the vocals to mix, I had eaten an edible, and I don't usually fuck with edibles because they usually fuck me up, but I was like, fuck it, I'll do it. I ate an edible, and I remember being there in the session mixing his music at like 3 a.m. This edible's not hitting right, so I took a dab, get me in the zone. I need a little refresher. I'm there, right? I'm editing, I'm mixing my vocals, and then I get to his vocals, and I remember feeling like, fuck yes, like this is happening. Like I have him on a song next to my vocals, right? And at that point, I got so hyped and so like in the zone. The edible kicked in, and I just remember being super lit to the point where like I was like in disbelief because you said like, how does it feel like hearing your vocal? I remember being in like disbelief, being like, holy shit, like this is happening. I remember I got up and I had to pace through my living room like for 40 minutes being like, this is it. This is good. Like we're doing this shit. It's a real feeling, bro. When you work with somebody, like, again, he's not a Chris Brown per se. Like he's not have millions and millions, but people who inspire me like that gets me more pumped than anything.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, because like I said, if somebody you look up to, it's just something different, bro. And like, because it's just different when it's somebody you look up to and you just hear them and then you're on the same song and you're like, bro, I listened to this guy 1,000 times.
Because you know that like if you're a fan of somebody like to that point where it's like, oh, this is like I'm a devout fan, you know there are other people who are devout fans of that person too, and it's like I love being on the other end. Like those devout fans are now going to be able to hear me and hopefully fuck with me too, you know. And I think that's the best way to grow too. I told my wife the other day that if I'm going to release more music in 2023 and beyond, it's going to be with other people. I've done the thing where I do it all by myself, for myself, with nobody else, and it's just me on the song, and it's cool and it's rewarding and it's fun, but you definitely get a bigger reach. Obviously you get a bigger feeling of satisfaction just working with other people. That's why I say music is just, it's best when you're collaborating, bro. There's nothing like it.
Yeah, 100%. Man, because it brings everybody together.
Isn't it crazy how music can do that?
Yeah, bro. That's how we here today.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Yes, sir.
That's exactly right. You're right.
Hell yeah, bro. So, who are some of the artists you're listening to right now?
Right now, fuck. Who am I listening to right? I could probably go through my Spotify. I really love that new Miley Cyrus album. I love it. She has a dope sound. I love Miley. I'm listening to a lot of. See, every time I say who I'm listening to, I'm always scared that people are gonna like be like, he's corny. I'm listening to a lot of Miley. I'm listening to a lot of Jonas Brothers. Don't judge me, all right? It's good music, and I like listening to it. I'm not afraid to say it.
Ain't nobody judging you, bro. Shit, especially with the shit you be pushing out, bro. I need to start jumping into the Jonas Brothers myself. Shit.
Well, they just dropped an album. And I love it, so I'll listen to them. But like I said, my music spectrum my music taste is all over the spectrum. One second I'm listening to like Jonas Brothers, the next I'm listening to like Jid or something. You know, I'll do just about anything. I just don't really fuck with country like that.
Yeah, same here. Bro.
Yeah, I know this the country. I know a lot of people back home love country, but it just doesn't do it for me. Yeah, I mean it's all over the place, but right now, my on repeat playlist is probably like Miley and Jonas Brothers or some shit like that. I don't know.
Shit, yeah, no, I'm with you on that, bro. I don't do too much country. My sisters played that shit growing up. I was like, I just can't listen to it.
You know, my girl loves it, and that's cool. She can listen to it.
So you be making all these different types of sounds, right? You know, you got your rap and your R&B. Are you like thinking about doing like stepping out and doing something different, like, because you definitely got the talent to like be doing all these other, you know, all these other sounds?
So we mentioned earlier that I'm a producer too.
Mm-hmm.
There's these two guys that I work with from time to time. Their name is J Crew. They go by J Crew Raps on Instagram. Shout out them, Jake and Justin. And they have a completely different sound than what I like. They make music that I would never ever do, and like for myself. Mm-hmm. For example, they just released 3 singles. We went to Lake Arrowhead in LA for like a week, out in the snow in a cabin in the middle of nowhere. Like there's nothing out there, and we just were cooking up for like a week. And the music that came out of there is so like off the wall, like nothing. For example, I'm on a single that they dropped called Man Cake. It's about guys having a big ass and like having like empowering, like I got a man cake and my shit's thick and like I'm proud of it type shit, right? And I would never do that kind of shit for myself, but like they have a kind of sense of comedy in their music, and I'm on that song and I'm rapping about being in the gym and like lifting weights and my ass is huge and shit, you know, like so I'm always willing to do other shit. But as far as like doing it under my own name, I don't know if I probably will, but I'm always willing to do it. I have a homie who does pop punk music, and I'm always like, yeah, I'll do background vocals for you, like if you want me on something, like I'm more than willing. But as far as like jumping out the box for my own shit, I'm gonna stick to this bag that I'm building, because I'm still building it and I'm still figuring it out, I think. But I'm always all over the place with it.
Sticking in that lane.
I think it's too soon. I think for me at least, it's too soon to venture off into a completely different sound when I'm building this sound and it's going pretty well for now. So I'm gonna stick with this for a second, and once we get this thing off the wheels, you're gonna see me all over the place.
Bro, I love listening to you talk about how you make music, because it just sounds like you have so much fun, bro. Like, so like, you know, how important is that to you to like keep the fun element into it and like not making it a job?
Man,
you know?
That is a fucking awesome question. How do you separate it from like a job? I think once music starts, or at least once music starts feeling like a job when you're creating your own music, is where it gets less fun for me. And once it gets to that point, I think I would rather just like that's when I'm like, I need to take a break from this, because if I'm doing this, I'm just kind of like, I'm dragging my feet, like I need to get this song out. Maybe it's not the right time for me to make that song. Maybe I need to, you know, take a step back and work on producing, or work on mixing, or work on this, work on that. I go through seasons. I'll go through seasons where I'm just producing for someone for a bit, where I'm just mixing everybody else's shit, and then I go through a season like right now. My season is I'm just mixing for other people and I'm chilling back on my own music, because I got so much shit in the tank, right? But once that time runs out and I get into the other season, it's gonna be go. I'm gonna be in making music, because I know that like I got so much shit that I gotta get off my chest, and I gotta lay it down. But yeah, once it starts feeling like work and then like dragging my feet, and I think I'm aware enough to know that like I need to take a step back, because it's not as fun as it should be. Because music is so much fun. I mean, you know, I mean, shit. You guys are gonna get it cooking later on today, so you already know how it is. But I mean, once music starts feeling like, I don't want to do this, and you just got to take a step back and just sit on it for a second. But I think one of the most important things too is to not make that super public too, because I know a lot of artists are like, man, I'm done with this music shit. I'm over it. I'm out. And then a month later, here's my new song. Yeah. You know, everybody goes to that feeling, I'm sure, where you're just kind of sick of it for a second. But if you really love music like that, you're gonna come back to it, and it's gonna always be that getaway for you, for sure.
Yeah. See, but with you got your different lanes, you know. So if you get tired of doing your vocals, you can, like you said, you can just jump over to the mixing.
Right. I'm blessed in that way, for sure.
Yeah, man. This is a fucking man that wears multiple hats, bro.
It's funny. I have if you Google FreshMicks, there's like an article that was written about me that was like, said something that like I'm like a Renaissance man or something like that, and I was like, oh, I love that. Like, hey, bro, that's, I'm all over the place with it.
Straight up, bro. Straight up. Yeah. Renaissance man.
I think that's a good way to put it, for sure.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah, because, you know, it's like Renaissance is rebirth. You know, this whole generation is like a rebirth of music. So,
it sure
like,
is.
Yeah, bro. Like,
so much crazy badass music coming out in this generation.
Yeah, and people could just make it themselves.
Man, that was another thing. When I first started off, I remember thinking like, one of my I think for my senior year, one of my buddies was like, oh, like what's one of your goals like for the next 5 years? And me being the small-minded kid, and I grew up poor. My family wasn't wealthy by any means, and we didn't have a lot of shit going on for us. But I remember one of my biggest things was like, one day I'm gonna record in an actual studio, thinking that like if you record in the studio, like you're good, you made it, you're in there. You know, times have so much changed.
Yeah.
You know, like. I think that just goes to show how different music and the industry has evolved. Whereas before I was like, I need to be in the studio. Now it's like, oh, I got this shit at my house.
Yeah.
You know, everybody, like, it's so different nowadays.
But then you got to think about that kid that was your age. You know, when you're thinking about that at your age, when he's like, I need to get that song with Mix.
Yeah.
You know,
that's
I got to get that. I got to get that song with Juice. I got to get that, you know.
That's such a mind fuck to think about what you were thinking and what your mindset was when you first started off to where you are. I mean, I'm sure for you too, it's completely different than when you first started, you know?
100%.
And that's how it is. We grow as artists, we evolve as artists, our mindsets do, our techniques do. I mean, if you're not growing, then what are you doing?
Yeah.
You know?
You can't be staying stagnant, you
know?
And
there are artists out there that, again, I hate hating, but there are artists out there that stick in their comfort zone and don't necessarily grow as much as I think people can. Mm-hmm. It's like how you asked me if I'm going to be switching up my style. Even though I said no, I think that switching up your style and then exploring genres that you wouldn't normally do is one of the best ways to grow. Yeah, for sure. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because you know, you said you were a straight rapper.
Yeah,
so
one day exactly.
You know,
I was straight rapping. There was no singing, and if it was singing, it was like some background vocals that you couldn't really hear that had hella auto-tune on them or something. You know, which again, no diss to auto-tune. I love auto-tune. I wouldn't be able to do what I do without auto-tune. But I mean, it's a completely different shift. That's how you grow. That's how you get it done. 100.
So I got this question. What's your like biggest fear in like being in this industry?
Oh, fuck, man, you're getting deep. Because I have a lot of fears about being in music. One of my biggest fears, I'm very insecure about my sound, and I think one of my biggest fears is not being recognized or not being, I don't know how to put this, but I hope that when people listen to my shit, they think it's quality, right? My biggest fear is that somebody listens to me and they're like, I think he needs to do more work. It's not a bad sound, but I think he needs more work on himself, which again, I think we all need work on ourselves, but I'm so scared that I'll walk into a room and just be so far below people. And I think that fuels my passion of wanting to be better, because I don't want that to happen. I don't want to be unprepared like I've been in the past. Yeah. I don't want to not have the answers. I don't want to, feel that way. I think that's my biggest fear in the music industry is not, I hold myself to a certain standard that may or may not be healthy. Mm-hmm. I think it is, Yeah. I'm scared that I won't live up to expectations.
Man, maybe. I'm going to be the first person. Fuck them people, bro. You got the fire, bro.
I know. Maybe I'm just like a people pleaser or something. I don't know, but I think I'm just insecure. I have issues. I have issues.
I'm gonna be here. I'm gonna be the one to tell you the motherfucking man, bro.
Thank you, bro.
Step in those shoes one time.
Thank you, brother.
You feel
Thank you. I'm slowly. As of lately, I'm stepping into more for sure.
Hell yeah, bro. Because you that motherfucker, bro.
Thank you, bro.
And like I said, I really fuck with you when I heard your music, but I really, really fuck with you when I see the people's reaction. And like I said, that show, it was on a Tuesday.
Right.
It wasn't a big show, but it was a powerful show.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And when you come with power like that, people are going to talk about it.
Yeah, thank you, bro. I appreciate that. 100%.
And you definitely brought that to the table.
Thank you. I try. That's what if that somebody could say that I did a good job and I brought it to the table, that's enough for me. That's enough validation for me.
Bro,
I appreciate it.
That's all you do, bro.
Thank you, brother.
And
thank you.
You're not just bringing something to the table, you're bringing something different to the table.
That's what I hope, It's like I said earlier, I don't see a lot of people that are making the same or a similar sound to me out here, and I hope I can bring that in quality to Humboldt and just everywhere,
Like I said, bro, I'm an R&B head, so I love it all, bro.
I think we all are a little bit, right? Yeah.
I love it all. Well, shit, man, we hit an hour, bro.
Yeah, I know, that's flew by.
This is your time right here, bro. You got to let people know what's coming next. Let people know what you're doing.
Yes, sir. So again, my name is FreshMicks, FRESH space MICKS on everything, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, SoundCloud, all that shit. FreshMicks, you can find me there. I just dropped my newest single, 4:30, with my buddy Fiction. That's fire. That's out to go. I hope to be doing more shows in the Humboldt area, so hopefully we can look out for that soon. And yeah, follow me. If you're gonna follow me, if you're gonna waste your energy following me, follow me on Instagram, because that's the only place when I'm actually active. To be honest, but you can follow me everywhere else.
Hey, bro, ain't nobody wasting time with you, bro. It's all quality, bro. We pull up for the quality, and that's what we get with you, brother.
Thank you. I got music videos on YouTube. I got my music's everywhere as it should be, and yeah, go look it up. FRESH space MICKS Fresh Mix.
Hell yeah, y'all heard that shit 100%.
Yes,
Follow my
sir.
boy Fresh Mix right
Yes,
there.
sir.
And I apologize, bro. I told we gonna laugh about it, bro. When we was on stage, I called you Fresh Mics, bro. I be on some shit, bro. I'm sorry, bro. I'll never do that again.
I've heard worse.
Hey, I'm putting respect on your name for sure.
It's all good, brother.
Hell yeah, y'all go follow my boy. Yeah, he's got the fire. You gotta play it for your shorty. You gotta go on a date. Y'all, anywhere, play it at a party. This is the man right here.
Yeah, we got bangers too. Don't get it twisted. Even though it's R&B, we still got bangers.
That's why I say you can play that shit anywhere.
Yeah,
that shit be popping.
We got it.
Slap that shit in your trunk.
Exactly. That's the test. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, shit, man. This is Albert with the Hip Hop Humboldt podcast. Thank you for listening. Make sure to go follow everywhere from Spotify, iTunes, and even YouTube. Shit. You know what I'm saying?
Don't forget YouTube.
Hey, and a big shout out to Juice, man, for letting us record up in here.
The
Juice
legend.
Box, pull up.
Juicebox Audio. If you need your shit recorded, mixed, and mastered, I'm gonna give him a plug real quick. Juicebox Audio. That's your dude in Humboldt County. Trust me.
Let's go.
Thank you for having me on, bro. Appreciate it.
Bro, thank you for coming, bro.
Thank you.
It's a blessing to have
Always fun.
Somebody your caliber coming.
Thank you.
Know what I'm saying?
Appreciate it. It means a lot.
Hell yeah.